One question I get asked a lot is, I've got XX transmission on the table I'm about to go into, and what are some tips that you can tell me about this transmission upon repairing it? So something we need to know first before we even get to that point is, why is it on the table in the first place? Why are we rebuilding it? What kind of information did we gather to determine whether we have an internal issue and what we are going to do to make it better? The teardown process is one thing. We need to understand why we're taking it apart, why we are rebuilding it in the first place. What kind of data did we capture? Do we have anything that we need to know about of why it's happening, and when it's happening? Once we understand that information, we need to do a teardown process and an inspection. Now, during that process of a teardown and inspection, we need to look at everything. What I like to do is take and just not inspect the parts, but I want to know the clearances. This 2368 clutch here actually lost 7 thousandths clearance from the original frictions that were in it to new that are in it now. Well, why did that happen? The 6L90 that's on the table is a unit that I built just a couple of years ago, and it started having some issues here recently. Now, this is one that I did not tune myself, somebody else that did some tuning on top of it, and we needed to gather information first. So it's got a hard shift from second to third and a hard shift from fourth to fifth. But it's not exactly what the customer complained about, that sometimes it would neutral during the shift and then it would go in and it would hold. So we kind of know that something is going on with potentially the 3.5R clutch. That is what comes on in third and fifth, but reverse is fine. Now, this unit is one of 4 that I have been monitoring for some time, with some issues kind of here and there to determine if we have a manufacturing defect in some products that are inside this unit. But once we're at the teardown process and we've done an inspection of all the parts, done some clearance checks, root cause of, why and what's going on here, we can find out that the root cause maybe was something that's in the valve body. Now, as far as publication information on each specific unit that you may be working on, Sonex, Transgo, and Superior has information. Well, Superior doesn't really have too much on their website, but also looking at Gears Magazine and Transmission Digest has a lot of relative information. The signal feed accumulators in this valve body are completely worn out, and even one bore, not even just this one. Now, this is the Sonex reaming tool jig that I first got years ago. And this right here is what puts this into a perspective to center and make sure that it moves out freely before we do any oversizing and putting oversized pulse dampeners in it. Just like in this bore here, it's kind of loose there. But this one is completely worn out. So this part here, this tool takes and oversizes for the signal feed accumulators that you will find here. Transgo also has products that do the same thing. Creating a thorough diagnostic process plus looking up published information will help you with a successful repair.